we saw this the small program with the I variable, which is the control variable, which will be controlling the execution of the program. And what will be the so in this program the control variable is initialized. I variable is initialized to 1, right? And then we are checking the control variable whether with a condition I less than or equal to 5. In most of the cases what we were checking from I equal to 1, it will be like except for one case, now all will be checking whether I is less than 5. And the last one, when I is equal to 5, it will be checking this condition whether I is equal to 5, right? And then it will be executing the loop. When this case turns out to be true, then it will be executing this printf statement. And after that we saw it will be updating the value of I. Updating means or incrementing or decrementing the value of I. Here it is incrementing the value of the control variable. Here it is decrementing the value of the control variable. So in this it will be printing the values from 1 to 5. If we are starting from 0, it will be printing from 0. Okay. So here in this example, we initialize the control variable. This is another program. Okay. So in that, we are initializing the control variable to 10. And then we are checking the reverse here whether I is less than or equal to, because in each step we are incrementing the value of I. Here we are starting with the 10 and we are trying to print all the values from 10 up to so it will be printing I greater than 0 until I is greater than 0. That means up to 1 it will be printing all numbers. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. So in each case it will be checking for the condition statement or the condition expression. If it turns out to be true only, it will be going to the loop statement, that is printf. So what will be the value first time when I am running this program? All are sleeping. So here what will be the value of I when, or what will be the condition whether it will be true or false when I value is equal to 8? Jeevan, today internet knowledge is see whether Jeevan
Yes, ma'am.
when I equal to 8, whether the condition will be true or false? I equal to 8.
False.
When I equal to 8, I is greater than 0. Given I value is 8, then I whether it is greater than 0. True, no? I value when it is 8, I is greater than 0, right?
0.
Then?
Yes, ma'am.
Then it is true or false?
True.
Okay, so whether it will be executing the body of the loop or not when it is true? It will be executing the body of the loop. Good. So in the body of loop itself, we have given the decrement of the value. So when I equal to 8, and then when it execute the body of the loop, I value will become what will be in this step when what is I minus minus? What is I minus minus? I equal to I minus 1, right? You can type in the chat box also if that voice is breaking. Okay. So it will be decremented. All are typing. Okay, good. Likit and all, Gayatri, Lavanya. I value will be decremented. I minus minus means I equal to I minus 1. So here the value of I in this step it was 8, right? So I am decrementing by 1. So it will be what? 7. So in this step the I value will become 7. Again it will go and check here whether 7 is greater than 0. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So in this while loop construct, a test condition is performed and before the loop is executed. So that's why we are calling it as what we are calling, whether it is entry control or exit control. While loop is a While loop is saying all should be typing because no, we should not get confused. While loop is saying
Entry control.
Exit control.
okay. So now we are moving to the examples. We have seen the algorithm for printing the sum of 10 numbers. So in this, we will be starting and then initializing. I think I had covered this also, right? So initialize the, which is the control variable in this? Which is the control variable? I will be the control variable. I equal to 1. And then we are using a variable called variable called mute yourself. So we will be using a variable called sum. So this sum also is initialized to 0. We are initializing to 0, and then in the next step we will be adding the value of I to sum, that is sum equal to sum plus I. So the first value of sum will be 1. Then we will be moving to the next step. We will be incrementing the value of I. So what is our aim here? We will be adding the numbers from 1 to 10. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus like that. Okay. So in this we had already seen yesterday. So this will be adding up and giving you 55, right? So all the numbers when we add up to 10, we will be getting what? So we will be getting 55. So this is our aim, and now we will start typing the program. So here in each step it will be doing the sum equal to sum plus I, and then in this step I equal to I plus 1. If I is less than 10, then we go to the step 3. And after the condition is not satisfied, that is if I is not less than 10, then in the last case, no, the I value will be incrementing and 10, right? So 10 is not less than 10. Then we will be checking whether 10 is equal to 10. That case also, it will be going to the step 3, right? After that, it will again add to the current value of sum. It will be adding the value of I. Value of I in the last step, it will be 10, right? Then it will be going to the next step, that is I will be implemented. Now the I value will become, instead of 10, no, it will become 11. Then it will go to this step. It will check whether 11 is less than, no, it is not less than 10. It is not equal to 10. Then it will not go to step 3. So to which step it will be going now? It will move to the step 6. It will be printing the sum. So it will be printing the sum as 55. When each step we were adding, right? 1 plus 2 plus. So here sum equal to sum plus I will be accumulating the added values of each step, and at the end it will be having 55. It will be printing the sum as 55. So now we are going to print or execute this program. So now we will see, we know how to take Turbo C and all, right? So those who didn't execute any of this program, 2, 3. So when I'm executing the program, you can just see, you can write the program later then, and then execute in your own system, okay? Yeah, okay. So who is speaking, or like you can mute yourself and see the program, how it is. So for first line, what it should be, #include stdio.h, right? The essential header files we are just adding. Then we will be starting with either main or void main. I told if you are using main, we have to give the return value. That means it has to be, it will be taking that we are returning some value. So unless we specify void main, void means we are not returning anything. Unless you specify that, it will be expecting some return value. So if you are giving only main, you have to give return 0. Got it? So in coding C, when you execute, default they are giving you the syntax. One example program, hello world or something and all. In that, some of you are correcting, right? Or you are adding the lines to be executed. So in that, return 0 will be there. So either you can remove, you can add void main and return that return 0, that you can delete. Understood? Void main means no return 0. If you are giving only main or int main, integer main, you have to return like this. Is it clear? So if you note down in your book, if you are giving int main, you have to give return 0. Or if you are not giving anything also, we are returning something, it is expecting to return something, then also return. Okay. So if you are giving void, then you need not return. Okay. So that syntax you have to. Now we will try to see or do the same step what we have it in the flow chart. So what is the first step? Start we are not going to implement in your C program, right? Then what is the next step? We are initializing and declaring and initializing the variables I and sum. I value is initialized to 1, sum is initialized to 0. So what will be the corresponding step in to initialize in C? All are listening, right? Integer I equal to 1. I am initializing to 1. You will not be able to see, right? I am just, I will show in each step. Then sum equal to, we are initializing to 0. Got it? So in this step, we are just initializing the two variables, I equal to 1 and sum equal to 0. Now what is our aim? That is, we will be accumulating the sum of the numbers from 1 to 10. So if you are doing it in one step, suppose the first number is 1, you know, I value is 1. If I am adding into the variable called sum, it will be like sum equal to sum plus I, right? Sum plus I. Then what will happen? Sum equal to 0, sum value is 0, right? 0 plus I value is 1, right? So this will be our first step. Then if I am just printing without loop, if I am executing this program, what will happen? It will be printing only the value of sum which is existing. What is the current value of sum? We will have only the value which is 1, right? We just added 0 plus 1. So sum will be having the value as 1. So if you are running this program, this sequential execution of the program will be just printing only the value of 1, right? Are you able to see?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So now what is the,
Yes, ma'am.
oh. Okay, so now we are going to make it into a loop. That means we are going to have added all the values from 1 to 10, right? So we have to execute a loop in which we will be making sure that I value will be ranging from 1 to 10. So in this, we are giving a condition while I is less than or equal to 10, please execute these two lines. So here I am giving this increment of 5. So what will happen now? So I'll give a tab. So you have to give proper indentation when you are running the program. So these are the lines which has to execute when we are going inside the while loop, right? That we are intending a little more. So I'm giving tab space now. So under main, this which is coming under this bracket, we are executing only this line. One space is enough. So these are the lines which we are going to execute when we are actually if we are going for a sequential execution of the program, right? And then if it encounters or if it is this condition which we are giving in the bracket turns out to be true, then it should be executing the lines which we are giving inside the bracket of while loop, right? So this is our aim. Now in this while loop, what all things we are going to check? What all lines we are going to execute? Sum equal to sum plus I, and the next line we are incrementing the value of I, that is I equal to I plus 1. So this loop will be executed how many times now? It will be executing from the value of I equal to from the I value equal to 1. We are initializing the value of I is 1, right? I equal to 1 to I less than or equal to. So whenever value of I is 9, it will be checking with this one, I less than. Now when the last step, when I equal to 10, it will be checking whether I is equal to 10. Got it? So this will be our program. Now what all changes I should make in order to clear the output screen. What the previous execution, what we have to do, we have to give the clear screen, right?
TLR screen.
Okay, so now this is a small program. So if you want to give a sentence, sum of first or sum of 10 numbers, right? Just okay. Okay, so now our program is running. Sum of 10 numbers is 55. Is it clear? So in order to understand the while loop, we are doing small 2 programs. Okay, so after this, we will be executing our lab program also. So this is clear, I feel. Now we will move on to the next program, which is write an algorithm. Or you want to write the, you have to try that program. Anyway, you have written the algorithm, right? You have written the algorithm, I guess, right? So this will be the algorithm. The same thing, no, we are checking, or we are making it to a program. Only thing is, as I had told yesterday, algorithm and flowchart is not specific for any programming language. We are not seeing any syntax and all. So here we will be checking this if condition, that is the decision box statement, no, that is given over here. So, but we are using while loop. You understood? So while loop we will be starting before these 2 steps. These 2 steps will be executed in the while loop. Is it clear? So we are checking this in a while loop, and the while loop is mentioned before these 2 steps. Exactly the same algorithm we are making into the C program. So seeing this, you have to type the C program. Okay. Now we will move to this factorial. Write an algorithm and draw a flowchart that will calculate the factorial of a number. Tell me what is factorial of a number? Type in the chat box. Factorial of a number 5. How to calculate the factorial of the number 5? All should answer in the chat box. Okay. But how to calculate factorial of the number? 32 are present today. Now you see that attendance shortage list is asked, like they have asked us to submit. So we are also like, we want to be this like all should be getting equal this thing. No, if you are not attending, and if you are attending also, if you are giving attendance, then what is the use? That's why I'm telling you, those who are present, no, you should be giving answer in the chat box. Then you tell me a way how to take attendance otherwise. Okay, so most of you had answered, I think. Some had answered with the what will be the factorial. Directly they have given 120. Factorial of 5. How to calculate the factorial of 5? Any number, if you want to find the factorial, it is like, if you want to find the factorial of 5, it is 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. Okay. So this way, any number you give, the factorial you have to find means you have to multiply all the numbers up to that number, from starting from 1 up to that number. So this will be the way how we calculate the factorial of 5. So in order to find the factorial of 3, it will be 1 into 2 into 3. Factorial of 2 is 1 into 2. Got it? So this is the way how we are taking the calculating the factorial of a number. So for this program, if you are writing an algorithm for this problem, that is, our problem is to calculate the factorial of a number. So any number we get an input, we should be able to calculate the factorial of that number. Is it clear? So if I am giving 3, I should be able to calculate the factorial of 3. If I am giving 8, I should be able to calculate it. So an algorithm should be written. I am getting the input from the user. That is any number, and if I give, I should be getting the factorial of that corresponding number. So what will be the name of the algorithm? That is to print the factorial of a number. Our aim is to print the factorial of a number. what will be the input? We should precisely write what is the expected input. What is the expected input? Expected input is a number. Then what is the expected output? We are expecting that factorial of that number what we have given as an input has to be given on the screen, that is displayed as an output. Then in the step 1, we are just starting, and then in the step 2, listen here, we are initializing. So here also we are using a control variable called I. We are using a control variable called I. In the previous also I kept the same variable name I. And then we are using another variable called fact to accumulate or to keep on adding up the or multiplying the factorial of the previous number with the current number. So we are using a variable called fact. Last program we had given a variable called sum, right? That we had initialized to 0 because we know that 0 plus 1 is 1. But if I initialize fact to 0, what will happen? Here we are going to multiply. So what will happen? Fact into like 1 into 0 means it will be 0. Answer will be always 0. So you have to keep it in mind that fact should be initialized to 1 because we are going to multiply the numbers, right? Now in the next step, we are asking the user to give a number for which we are going to find the factorial. Got it? Okay. Yeah, Janani is answering. So input n, so we are giving the number. Suppose we gave the input n equal to 3, then what will happen? So we are going to find the factorial. So we are, in order to find the factorial, we are using the variable fact to accumulate the values of the factorial found in each step. Fact equal to fact into I. First value of I is 1 and fact equal to 1. So what will happen in this step? It will be like 1 into 1. So 1 into 1 is 1. So fact is equal to 1. Now in the next step, we are going to increment the value of I. That is, we are going to increment I by 1. That is I plus 1. I plus 1 is what? The current value of I is 1. 1 plus 1 will become 2. So I value is 2. Now we are going to check whether I value is less than or equal to n. If it is less, we know that 2 is less than. So what is the n value we had accepted? N value we had accepted is 3. Our aim is to find. If you want to give 5 also, it should work. I'm giving, that is, I wanted to find the factorial of the number 3. So I'm giving n equal to 3. So here in this step, it will be checking whether current value of I is 2, right? 2, whether it is less than 3. If it is less, then go to step 4. Are you getting? So it will be moving to step 4. Again, here what will happen? Fact equal to fact into I. The current value of fact was what? 1 into 1 we had performed and it was 1. So in this step, what will happen now? In this step, it will be replacing I value with the 2, right? So it will be 1 into 2. 1 into 2 will be 2. So all these calculations you should be doing in your notebook, then only it will be clear. So you will remember for the next time. So in 1 into 2, then fact will be what? 2. Now in this step, fact value will be 2. Then it will move to the next step. The current value of I is incremented by 1. Now in this step, what will happen? It will be 2 plus 1 and the value of I will be 3. Okay. Now in this step, it will be checking whether I value is 3 now, right? Whether 3 is less than 3. No, it is not less than 3. It is equal to 3, right? Less than or equal to means it is 3 equal to 3. It will go to step 4. Again, it will be adding or multiplying fact equal to. So the current value of fact is 2, right? So in this step, what will happen? It will be multiplying 2 into 3. So in this, we will be getting the value as 6. So after that, it will move to this step, I get I plus 1. The current value of I was 3. It will be incremented by 1. It will be 4. And now in this checking, it will be like 4, whether it is less than 3. No. Whether 4 is less equal to 3. No. Then what it will do? Go to, it will not go to step 4. It will move to the next statement, that is print fact. What is fact now? Fact is 6. Got it? So this will be the execution of the program. So now we will convert this into program, C program. Right, I'll ask someone. So tell me the steps. Gautam Muniraj. Gautam Muniraj.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me the steps for this program? What all I have to do? This program, just now we did know that, what was that program? Factorial. So what I have to do, if you want to see the algorithm, what is the first step? We are declaring a integer variable. See Gautam, you can see, right? I equal to 1, equal to 1, right? And then the next step.
First, you have to accept a number, ma'am.
Oh, first you
Integer.
So I am not declaring the variable. So I am just asking the user to if you want to find the number now, like a factorial of a number, enter the number. Okay, then we are asking the user to enter, means we have to accept it, right? We are using %d, right? Gautam. So in which variable we have to accept? We are using a variable called n, right? We are using a variable called n. Okay, so we are using a variable called n. So in order to accept means we have to give the address of the location. So in scanf we have to give ampersand n. Is it clear? Okay, why you're not? No.
Yes, ma'am. We have to accept it. %d.
No.
%d. Then for each n. Yes, ma'am.
I can understand. Okay, your voice is blurred. Okay, no, yeah, in between it is bright. Okay. So now in factorial, what is our aim? We have to multiply each number with the previous number. Fact equal to fact multiply. Multiplication symbol is asterisk, and we are using a variable called I, right? This will happen, and then so for the first step, we are using a variable I, means we have to use that variable, or we have to declare the variable. Declare the variable. And another variable which we are using is fact. So that also we have to declare. Both we are initializing into 1. Is it clear? So sum and fact also, because you know we are factorial, we are finding by multiplying. So either of these, if it is equal to 0, then it will be always 0. We are keeping on multiplying, right? So this we are thinking that fact equal to I. So if I change the value of I like 1, 2, 3, 4, no, I will be able to find the factorial. So how to make this one into a loop? So in each step we are expecting that I value should be incremented, right? So we are making these two steps inside a while loop. Okay, so while I is less than or equal to, what is that? We are checking with the n value, because we want to find the factorial of n. So until the value of I is, we are starting from 1 until the value. Suppose I ended 3, I should be multiplying or changing the value of I from 1 to 3. If I want to find the factorial of 5, I should be changing the value of I from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm putting a limit for that I value. I value should be changing from 1 to n. But whatever be the value of n I am giving, or when the user is giving, that value will be limiting the control of the flow. Okay. So these two lines will be executed when we are finding the factorial, or for any of the number. So after finding the factorial, sorry, I didn't give the printf statement, right? So we want to see the factorial. So we are the factorial of the number is %d. So here, which number will be having the factorial? Fact, right? The variable fact will be having the factorial of that number. So as such, we will run and see, and I'll tell you what all we have to CLR. No errors, so we will run it. And so if I want to find the factorial of 3, it is showing the factorial of the number is 6, right? Then again, if I want to find the factorial of 5, it is correct, right? Now, when you are running, you see if I am giving a bigger number, but suppose if I give 8, you see the output, is it correct? Minus 25,216. You know, your factorial of the number 8. How to find the factorial of number 8? 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5 into 6 into 7 into 8, right? So if you multiply up to, or if you find the factorial of 8, it's a bigger number. Which all are listening or what? I'm just wasting my time if you're not listening. 31.
Listening, ma'am.
Okay.
Listening, ma'am.
Okay. So if we are finding the factorial of a bigger number like 8, you know that
Yes,
it is yes, ma'am. It is a longer integer which cannot be supported by our data type. Is it clear? Which is our data type which we have given? We have given for the fact, fact variable, we have declared it as an integer. We have studied that integer will be allocated 2 bytes. 2 bytes. 2 bytes means 16 bits. What will be the maximum value supported by the by an integer? It will be 2 raised to 16. So the value up to 2 raised to 16 will be can only be taken up by a variable which is declared as an integer variable. So what we have to do now? We have to change the data type of fact. That means we are changing into a long int. Long int. Integer is not enough because if you're finding the factorial of a number, it may exceed the integer data type, that is 16-bit. It is not sufficient for bigger numbers. So we are making it redeclaring the fact as another variable or data type called long int. So there is no space between long and int. This is not a keyword. Keywords will be in white color, or the programming statement. So in void and all, no. So you can see some of those keywords will be in white color. So you check that also is a method of checking whether your program is correct. So now if I give 8, see the factorial of, if you multiply and see, you will understand that the factorial of 8 is 32,005, and it's not having any negative value. So it is correct. So if you want to have find the factorial of a bigger number, always you should keep it in mind that you should be declaring it as a long integer. Is it clear now? So the same thing what we have given in the algorithm, only thing is we are checking only at the end, that is if I is less than n. So when we are changing into changing the algorithm into a program, you see I have kept it in some almost the same thing, but only that the decision box is coming down now, because if we are converting, I told it is not specific to any programming language. So this decision box checking, it's better to keep it down. Otherwise, all lines are same as that of the algorithm. You are clear, or if you have any doubts, you ask. All have written the program. All have.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so
Yes,
now
ma'am.
I can move to the next one, right? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll just take a screenshot of your attendance. You should execute both those programs and then send me the screenshot in WhatsApp, okay? No other way. So if you have any error, you can call and ask. Okay. So while I have kept only 2 examples, now it's almost time. So this one is coming as our, I think, lab program also we have. Factorial of